Thank you all for coming. We just have a pretty short and sweet program today. We're going to hear from everyone here on the stage. Mayor McLeod, Kyle Schultz, Gil from ComEd, and Chris Crosby, our CEO. My name is Katie Hancock. I'm the VP of Public Relations for Compass. Along with my colleague Candy, we organized this event, and we're just so excited after many months of planning to finally be here together celebrating this awesome project. So the flow of things today is we'll hear from all of our speakers, and then we've got a little bit of an unusual photo op because that's how we roll at Compass. And we'll head over to the saddle room after the photo and some visit time, just to celebrate this awesome day kicking off this big project. So with that, I will hand it over to Mayor McLeod to get things started.
What a beautiful day in Hoffman Estates and for Hoffman Estates. The sun always shines in Hoffman Estates, particularly shining today as one year ends and another begins. We're very fortunate that Sears Holdings moved out to Hoffman Estates in 1992 from their namesake Sears Tower. There's a lot of infrastructure improvements put in for that project, and we have an entire business park, housing, and all kinds of road improvements, which really helped develop the west side. We wouldn't have much of a west side without Sears coming in, so we salute Sears. And now we move on to a new era with data centers, Compass data centers, which is a great reuse of this beautiful property. I have some elected people I need to introduce. We have Trustee Gary Palafis of Hoffman Estates. We have Trustee Gary Stanton of Hoffman Estates. Trustee Patrick Kinane. We have State Senator Christina Castro, who represents much of Hoffman Estates. And we have State Representative Marty McLaughlin, who represents the north side. And some of the west side. So we are very pleased to welcome Compass Data Centers to Hoffman Estates. The redevelopment of the former Sears headquarters into a data center campus begins a new chapter for this high-profile property and continues the technology diversification of our tax base. Although still preliminary, the investment by Compass will be in the billions of dollars and will have positive effects for our community for years to come. So the original development that came in here over 30 years ago transformed the west end of Hoffman Estates, brought new roads, new tollway interchanges, infrastructure improvements, and a peak of 9,000 employees when they first came in here. This place was just teeming with people. They were working in walkways, they had desks everywhere. And as Sears dwindled, the reuse of this property became something that was obviously very important to Sears and to the village of Hoffman Estates. They were our largest employer. So we're thrilled to welcome Compass Data Centers and to have the village of Hoffman Estates be a part of our growing digital economy. We're working closely with ComEd and Compass. We look forward to bringing this prime site into the modern era. On a funny note, I was on the village board when Sears originally came in. And so they struck a deal with the mayor and the board, and they always talked about their comfort level. That, well, we dealt with you and we know what you were like, but there may be people that take your place and we don't know what's going to happen. Well, ironically enough, Sears is gone and I'm still here. So to all the folks at Sears, come and look me up sometime. And for Compass, welcome to Hoffman Estates. We're just delighted to have you here. Thank you very much. It's now my privilege to introduce Kyle Schultz, the Chief Growth Officer of World Business Chicago, the Executive Leader of Greater Chicagoland Economic Partnerships. Kyle?
Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Mayor, thank you for the warm introduction. Trustees, thank you for allowing someone from Chicago to come to this beautiful village today and be part of this incredible celebration. As the mayor shared, my name is Kyle Schultz, and I am the Chief Growth Officer at World Business Chicago. World Business Chicago is the City of Chicago's economic development agency. Our mission is to promote Chicago as a global city, support business, and fittingly for today, attract investment and jobs. And so I think the question I had is, why is a Chicagoan coming out here to Hoffman Estates? Well, I'm out here today in my capacity as the executive leader for the Greater Chicagoland Economic Partnership. The Greater Chicagoland Economic Partnership is an innovative approach to regional economic development. It connects the 7 counties that make up the Chicagoland metropolitan area, which include Cook, DuPage, Kane, Kendall, Lake McHenry, and Will County, with the City of Chicago and World Business Chicago to make sure that we have a unified approach to attracting investment and supporting the future job creators that want to come to our area. And under GSEP, the 7 counties have come together to make sure that opportunities like what Compass Data Centers today will bring have everything they need to maximize their investment and tell the great story. And what makes today's groundbreaking particularly special for me is this is what embodied when we came together in the fall of 2020 to start planning what GSEP would become. On the heels of the COVID-19 recession, and as we looked around and tried to figure out what the future would be, leaders from around this area, including the mayor, recognized that we needed a fresh collaborative approach to expanding and retaining our tax base. We recognized that legacy brands like Sears that had been so fundamental to our communities were transitioning, and that the next generation of companies for the 21st century were going to be needed for Chicagoland to be that global region supercenter. And so Compass's decision today to invest billions of dollars into the Chicagoland market is one that I think properly represents the best pieces of Chicagoland working together. A committed village working hand in glove with the project under the mayor's leadership and at the hands of my good friend and excellent economic developer, Kevin Kramer, to make sure that Compass Data Centers felt confident in what they were doing. A strong municipality is just one piece. And as we often see, we need a strong ecosystem partner. And that often takes the shape of ComEd. Historically, Chicagoland's #1 reason for attracting investment has been our talent opportunities. With 500,000 university students within just a 5-hour drive, we have a strong labor force advantage. But over the last 20 months, we've seen a fundamental shift. And the #1 driver we get asked about is, what are your power opportunities? And thanks to ComEd, and with Gilkin Jonas's leadership, who he also serves as a proud WBC board member, we are able to share that we have reliable, affordable, and clean energy that'll keep us as the top metro for corporate expansion and relocation for years to come. World Business Chicago and the Greater Chicagoland Economic Partnership measure our success in what we call pro-Chicagoland decisions. Those are companies that expand their existing footprint or, like Compass Data Centers, open their first facility in this market. And over the last 3 years, we've seen 500 opportunities come into our market, creating upwards of 50,000 jobs. And what's exciting about this is today is just the next one that we will celebrate. And while we call it a pro-Chicagoland decision, I think today, given that the mayor has lined up beautiful Chamber of Commerce weather, it is a pro-Hoffman Estates decision. I am thrilled to be here to celebrate this newest pro-Chicago decision, to make sure that we continue to tout the excellent work that all of our stakeholders are doing to drive investment and uplift our residents' and neighbors' standard of living. And so happy for Compass Data Centers to pick Chicagoland. Thank you very much. And it is now my pleasure to welcome Gilkin Jonas, President and CEO of ComEd.
Thank you, Kyle. And Mr. Mayor, congratulations on your success in growing the Hoffman Estates economy. I'd also like to thank Chris Crosby, CEO of Compass, our partner, and Chris, your entire team. I know our folks at ComEd have enjoyed getting to know Compass and your team, and we're impressed by how conscientiously you've designed this project. Our world today is incredibly powered by data. But data needs power, a lot more of it than in the past. Across the country, the demands of the digital economy have placed new demands on power supply. Fortunately, ComEd has a great abundance of power on our grid. In fact, a large portion of the electricity generated in our territory is exported to other regions. Business need to know that power will be there when they need it. And ComEd was recently named as the nation's most reliable electric utility. Finally, businesses are increasingly conscious about the source of their energy. ComEd can meet 96% of our customers' consumption with clean energy. And thanks to the support of policies like the Illinois Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, then that number is likely to grow. So ComEd is well positioned to meet the growing needs of Compass and the data center industry. We have dedicated teams who will make sure the energy infrastructure is in place when your data center is ready to go live. That includes a new on-site substation that we're on track to build and energize in 2026. In doing so, we're proud to help bring jobs and local investment to Northern Illinois, which brings tangible benefits to the customers we serve. I want to close by acknowledging that even as we celebrate the growth of one industry, we are honoring the legacy of another. Decades ago, before Amazon or even Walmart, Sears was the world's largest retailer. That growth was driven by the Sears catalog. Remember that? Which revolutionized shopping in the early 1900s. But like everything else, times change and consumers need change. Catalog shopping would give way to online shopping, and the Chicagoland economy has been moving from an analog era to the digital age. The past is a building block, and Compass has taken that literally. As you've heard, the new Compass campus will be made in part from the recycled concrete from the Sears old headquarters. It's clear that at Compass, under Chris's leadership, sustainability values take the form of sustainability actions. So we have been proud to partner with you, Chris, and your team every step of the way. We teamed up during the planning and engineering phase. We'll be working alongside you during the construction phase. And in just a few years, we'll be there to flip the switch, so to speak, to electrify your future in Northern Illinois. So, Chris and your team, welcome to our region.
Okay, shockingly, I won't use paper. So, I'm a data center guy.
You're modern.
No, thank you, all you guys. Thank you very much for the very, very warm welcome. We are super excited to be here. Thank you to the elected officials and trustees that are here today. To our first responders, thank you. Glad you guys got to break some doors and tear some stuff up, and we're really happy about that. But you know, this location, and it's a place I visited when it was still in operation, so it's very interesting for me. But you know, as we do look towards the future and where things are going, these are really the centers of economies going forward, and you know, Hoffman Estates and the embracing of that, as well as Greater Chicago and the state of Illinois embracing it. These data centers are you know, akin to those highway systems in the past that people didn't want to go through their communities, and you know, those highway systems, those airports, those great locations have been those centers of economy, and we're happy that that's going to be right here in Hoffman Estates. So our current work right now, American Demo is here, I think. There's some folks from American Demo. Really happy to partner with them. They really embraced our sustainability focus on things. We're trying to recycle everything. Thank you to the Hoffman Estates team for trying to help us get whatever donations we could get. To say this place was left in a hurry is true. It was a little eerie to go through some things, but we plan to reuse the concrete, stone blocks, the asphalt that's here. We're going to reuse whatever we can here, and that's an important part of building on that future and that corner stage. But one of our core tenets here at Compass is this is built to last. We look at this as a 100+ year facility. This will be a center of economics, a different world of economics, but a center of economics for a very long time. We've set it up to be able to refresh it over time. We've set it up to be able to last, and that is very, very important to us at Compass and leads into our strategy. So what we're building here, you can see it up here. We've got 5 very large buildings. They're each a little bit over 250,000 square feet, and they are housed with what everybody's holding up right now. Every single thing you do touches these types of locations. I think it's hard for people to recognize just how much everything goes into a data center. That cloud lives somewhere, AI lives somewhere, and it really is driving the economy today. So great to have that here. We have modular designs. When I say we built it to last, you can see we can upgrade everything that we need. It's all on the outside of a building where we allow things to be changed very easily, and all of our clients' equipment sits on the inside of that building, and that's refreshed on a constant basis. The economic effect from this is pretty massive. It's not just what we do, it's not just what our clients do, but it's all those companies that support this ever-changing, ever-modifying organism that is the data center, whether it be service folks on mechanical and electrical equipment, to IT folks that are there, to logistics, to everything that's associated with it. It is its own economy in and of themselves on these types of campuses. So really, really excited about having that here. We thank everybody here for attending. We don't do this very often at Compass. I'd like to thank our CM team that's here. You guys wave your hands, MJ, Ariel, and Lou. So we're really excited about being here. They'll be here day in and day out for things, but we're really excited about the project. And Katie, I'll turn it back to you so we can go a little Compass weird next. So.
All right, for this photo op, we're taking, like Chris said, at Compass we sort of lean into being a little bit weird, a little bit untraditional. And as we thought about how do we kick this thing off, it certainly wasn't a ribbon cutting. We do not have a new building to unveil. A groundbreaking didn't feel right. Sears did that. They own that. They broke this ground. But what did feel right is each of the executives is going to pour out a pitcher of crushed concrete from this site to symbolize that we will be, like Chris said, reusing stone blocks, concrete, asphalt from the site. We'll crush it and we'll use it to fill the land to make it level, and then as aggregate and cement, because creating cement creates a lot of greenhouse gases. So they're going to each pour out a bucket to symbolize how we are pouring in together, all 4 entities, into the new future for this facility. So it might be a little loud. It wasn't as crushed as I thought. Thanks, guys.
We should count, right?
Grab your rocks.
Yeah. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. I thought they were peanuts originally. No, you don't want to chew on those. Cheers.
Thank you all.
By all means, keep your pitcher, clean it out, and refill it with something more fun than rocks. Thank you all again for coming, and let's celebrate. Thanks.